leave the hospital to go get the car and load it up to come back and go get Elena. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, right? Open up this car seat, got to go on. I go downstairs, and I'm there, and here comes a guy in his golf cart, right? Like, maintenance guy. Andre, how you doing? He's got 2 kids.
Oh, okay.
Hey, man, I'm good, man. It's all good. He got a second? He's like, yeah. Hey, man,
I have a baby.
I got a baby I got to pick up, and I don't know how to put this thing in. He like looked at me, I'm like, I'm doing this podcast for a lot of different reasons, but more than anything, I want to get perspective on new mothers, current mothers, mothers that are excited, mothers that are indifferent, mothers that are looking to be incredible moms. I want to get all those emotions, all those feelings, all those conversations on the table, all to say that at the end of the day, nobody fucking cares. All right, we're here with Lianna Huseman, aka Lily, aka my wife. I thought you were gonna come later, and you are gonna come later in this, interviewing process, and where you're at in the queue and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I have you here now, and I just wanted to ask you a couple questions. I got this podcast going. It's called Nobody Cares, and really the way I came up with it, I was talking to my buddy, and we were talking, hey, you should do the podcast thing, do a YouTube channel, do all kinds of, and I'm like, I'm totally down for it. I'm totally interested in it. Probably been thinking about it and talking to a friend of mine, Jeremiah, for, I don't know, maybe 6 months about what it is that I'm trying to do, what am I trying to accomplish. And I think everyone knows that sort of follows me. I love boxing, right? Obsessed with it. It's been able to provide an incredible career for myself and an incredible lifestyle. I've been able to do a lot of great things and meet a lot of cool people. But what was my passion then, over 16 years now doing that, it's still there, it's just not as much. And my passion has changed. My passion has elevated. It's moved in a different direction. And for me, it's now about my kids, right? Kids.
You're welcome.
My kids. I'm welcome. Thank you. It's like this all fucking day at home. Just gonna throw that out there. Okay. It's my passion for the family that we've built and that we're continue to curate and create. It's the whole family that we have, right? And it's a really close group of friends that it's been amazing. So when I was putting this thing together, I'm like, hey, what am I passionate about? And that's what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about moms. I'm passionate about dads. I have way more in common now. Yeah. You should see the fucking Instagram accounts that I follow.
Well, you're definitely more interesting.
Yes, I'm definitely more interesting than I used to be. Whatever. But 5 years ago, if you would ask me, I'm like, dude, I follow boxing accounts, business accounts, anything related to me. But that's not the case. The case is it's them, us, everybody else. And then I seem to be last on the list these days. Anyways, as we progress forward in this conversation, I just want to put that out there, why I wanted to do this. And after I was talking with Jeremiah, and we kept talking about boxing and different things. And then it just hit me. I'm like, that's not truly what I'm interested in right now. I'm interested in learning more about moms currently, what it felt like to get pregnant first trimester, second and third trimester, right? What did it feel like having that conversation with your spouse, significant other, your husband, your wife, whatever it may be? What did that conversation look like prior to getting pregnant? Was there a conversation? And if it was positive, negative, or indifferent about kids? Yeah. And I think what we're gonna have on the show is a mixture of all three. Because what I found over the last, maybe 15 years of just doing one-on-one training with people and training a lot of moms, it's like some of them didn't want kids. Happy to be a mom now. Some of them wanted kids, couldn't get pregnant. Some of them were like, yeah, we're kind of for it, kind of trying, not really, and then shit, now we got 6 kids. What?
Yeah, life happens.
That life happens, and that's what I'm trying to capture. But I want to capture like the before. So I want to jump into it with you just a little bit. We'll do another interview later because I know you have a lot to say.
Always.
I know you do. But okay, so we got married.
We did.
We got married, and then we were like, let's enjoy each other, right? Let's do the whole marriage thing. Let's just do this and have fun. Okay. And then we decided, hey, we want to have kids. And I have always wanted to have kids, you know that. Since the day we met. So I always want to be a dad. And you were what?
I already think your story's a little off compared to what I was feeling. Let's take it back. I never wanted to get married.
It's true.
And you did. I will say that was the my most favorite day. So I'm really happy that we came to an agreement on how we wanted to do things.
A written agreement.
Yes, we had to start there.
Yeah.
Then we had our wedding, and then what's interesting is that we weren't planning to, like, we weren't trying, but I was off birth control for at least 6 months by the time we got married. And then I think I was just open to the idea because I never wanted to be a mom, ever. I never got the maternal internal clock, the maternal feelings of I need a child. I know so many women who felt like me, but then one day they wake up.
And all your friends have kids.
All my friends. And they started young.
Oh, I know.
In our early 20s.
I know.
And they scared the shit out of me. I'd look at them like, why are you getting married? Why are you having kids? Why are you getting married and then having kids?
You look miserable.
You look well,
you look run down. You look tired.
Yeah, they looked run down to me, but not knowing that that's just what every mom looks like. You lose connections. Like, my friends were always my friends and I loved them dearly, but we didn't talk as much. And then we couldn't relate anymore. I was still doing the party scene and then the school, like my extended schooling and enjoying life in the way that I wanted to enjoy life, thinking that they weren't enjoying life. I really thought like, wow, that looks awful. I didn't know what any of that meant, so I just steered away from it. Then you and I got together, again, another story, but it was a very long story. But again, I never had it. However, I knew going into our marriage that you wanted kids. So I knew I had to make a decision even to marry you. Because if I didn't want kids, why would I marry you? Why would we go down that route, right? Did I think you were ready for kids? Absolutely not. And I think even a part of me maybe thought I didn't want kids because I didn't know if I wanted to have kids with you.
Good. We're not doing this. We're fucking not doing this.
But here's the thing. It's like about growth, right? We grew together. We started trusting each other. We turned inward, and then boom.
Yeah.
What was hard for me is that even though I thought I didn't want kids, I don't know if I ever told you this, at some point, every month when I got my period, I felt a little disappointed.
Yeah.
And then a little bit disappointed.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I kept it to myself because I was conflicted.
And this is how you grow. You keep stuff from each other.
Yes, always.
You keep stuff from your partner.
And then when you create a podcast,
so that you grow.
it comes out for content. Yeah.
This is great.
But
I'm finding a lot of shit right now.
well, you got to save it. You know, the marriage has to stay interesting, right?
Yes.
So the disappointment started to creep in, and I think maybe those were the feelings of wanting kids, but it came out differently. So instead of me saying, I want a child, it was, oh, I can't do it. Is something wrong with me?
Right.
Like,
do you think a lot of women feel that?
Yeah, of course, because it's supposedly our only duty in life as a woman.
Right.
We are the baby makers.
Supposedly.
That's why we're here.
But that you put that before.
Yeah, supposedly.
Because it's not your only duty.
No,
Right,
absolutely not. But at some point, like, think of it this way. I went to school, I graduated, I finished. Any job I wanted, I went for, I got it. What I wanted, I got, and then I wasn't getting this. So that also felt like, wait a minute.
Like a setback?
Why I should be able to be in control here. I should be able to say, I want to get pregnant, so now I'm pregnant. Why is the universe denying me? Like, then that felt pretty shitty. Like, wait a minute. So then I think it became this internal struggle of, why can't I do this? Versus, I want to have a baby. I never even uttered the word baby. It never came out of my mouth. I never said I want to have a baby. It was, why can't my body do this? So at some point, as you know, I'm in the mental health field, and I experienced true, authentic burnout. All the symptoms, right? Memory loss, constant gut health issues. I was tired, like the worst fatigue I've ever had, and I was losing interest in things that I liked, which I don't love a lot of things. I don't like a lot of things. So the little things I did like, it was starting to diminish inside. I think the last thing or symptom that I had was, I can't even remember right now, but it was a big one. It'll come to me. I just had enough.
Yeah.
Symptom after symptom after symptom. And then a girlfriend of mine recommended that I go see a functional doctor instead of my medical doctor. So,
I remember that. Yeah.
And work was getting pretty tough. Oh, and I had my first panic attack at work. And I worked 2 jobs. I worked in the mental health, and then I worked in the restaurant industry to supplement. And I walked into always double shifts. I went from one job to the next.
Yeah.
I walked in, and this wave of emotion came over me. And I started crying hysterically. I felt like I couldn't breathe. And thankfully, I had a great manager at the time that helped calm me and then sent me home. And I didn't go home. I went to American Gym where you were currently working.
Yeah.
And I remember you looked at me and you said, you came out, you embraced me and then said, I was wondering when this was going to be too much for you.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was, I was, burning the wick at both ends and I didn't know how to manage myself.
You know why? It's like, for me, obviously I know you, I feel like you know you better than anybody. It's like, I knew you were going through something and I'm like, I know my wife well enough. You know when you press something on someone, they're not going to open up.
Sure.
And then, me knowing you as long as I have and as well as I do, I'm like, things are bottlenecking for her. And at some point, this is gonna, and then sure enough, when you had reached out, I fucking remember it like a lot now.
It was a turning point.
It was right there. You showed up to American Gym, I would meet you out front, you like broke down, started crying.
And I normally didn't do that. I would deal with my emotions on my own.
First of all, my wife doesn't cry. Well,
I do now, 24/7.
Well, yeah.
Usually happy tears.
If you want to know who my wife is and who I married in a nutshell, I married Wednesday Addams. She doesn't like anybody, which is odd, and she's a therapist. That's a whole nother podcast.
It's a whole nother, because there's way more to that story.
But, so if I tell you I married someone like that, so when I had my wife show up to the place that I was working at, sort of break down and sort of be like, it's happening. And when I said that, I was waiting for this to happen in a good way, because I knew like I couldn't come to you and say, hey, right? Yeah. Not because I didn't have the ability to or the inability. It was because I know you. It's because I know how you work. And if I were to have gone the other route, which is being proactive, right? Which on paper sounds hey, why don't you just go up to your wife? Like, not everybody works like that. No. Not everybody navigates like that.
I felt suffocated.
Yeah.
When you're up in my face.
So if I'm like on you, tell me what's wrong. Like, we're not going to get anywhere, and probably this is going to happen, the distance, the gap. And so I slowly let that, and then when that sort of bottleneck and came to what it was that day, it was like, yeah.
Well, then also bring in culture.
Yeah.
So we come from the same culture, although we don't look similar.
Yeah.
We come from Latino culture, and in my culture, it was you're not allowed to cry. You suck it up, you move forward, you don't feel. And it wasn't even said that way. It was just how everyone moved.
Shown,
we were shown, we're moved. It's all generational, even traumas that are passed down. And that's what I thought. I thought that I was being vulnerable, but I wasn't. So that's what was bottling up inside me. And so to bring it full circle, I could not get pregnant because after seeing this functional doctor, it's interesting, I got my blood work done prior to the appointment. I go to the appointment, he reads my blood work, and one question he asked me, well, first he said, I don't know how you're functioning as a person. You're like a shell. Like your nervous system is shot. I don't even know how you're doing what you're doing. Which in that moment, I felt heard, validated. I started crying. Yeah. And then he said, by the way, are you trying to get pregnant? And I couldn't even say it then. I couldn't even say yes. I said, well, I'm not trying, but if it happens, right? Because I didn't want to feel the disappointment. Right. He said, well, just to let you know, if you were trying, you can't. You have 0 progesterone in your body.
Let's talk about disappointment here just for a second. Disappointment in wanting to try and it not happening. Do you think a lot of women go through that?
Yeah, absolutely. And then we don't want to even say it out loud. We don't want to say we're trying because we already know that it's not happening. So then you want to brace yourself for that disappointment. You want to brace yourself from not being like all the other women who say they want to get pregnant and they get pregnant. Something is wrong with you. That's all you think all day long. Something's wrong with me. And what am I supposed to do about it? I had no idea what I was supposed to do about it. But all my family got pregnant. Like there wasn't any infertility issues.
Right.
You know, my mom got pregnant like back to back to back, and I thought that would be me, and it wasn't. So, but hearing that there was something wrong, there was something not right, there wasn't a nice balance inside, there was an answer.
Right.
So turns out that that night I was prescribed progesterone. I took it, and then I decided a few days later after talking to you that I was going to quit my job. I also didn't know how to quit things. I felt like I was going to fail every time.
Yeah.
Right? So then I thought, oh my God, I can quit my job. I'm just going to quit. And then I'm going to alleviate myself of the stress, and then I'll just figure it out later. Well, I put my 2 weeks notice in, and then 2 days later, as I'm taking progesterone, I found out I'm pregnant. So what was happening was I was getting pregnant but it wasn't sticking. So the progesterone takes like, you need like it's like the last piece of the circle. So I had the ability to get pregnant, I just couldn't keep them. And pregnant. And I still remember that night. And it was, I couldn't believe it. And I did the test in the bathroom by myself, and I purposely didn't tell you because I didn't want to make you feel disappointed that I couldn't do the task that I was put here to do. So I did it by myself. You were in the next room. And then it came out positive.
So you had that positive test. How many test kits did you buy?
It was a pack of 2.
Is that what they come in now? I think they just know. Like the marketing people, they just fucking know. Like, dude,
Right, yeah.
give these
have
people
to.
too. Because you know you're gonna run your ass back to the store and be like, that's just how we are as Americans, and I think it's just how we are as people. It's like, I don't believe this. Scam.
Yeah.
Throw it out. Let me do another one. You pee on it. Same time.
Yeah.
Both of us pee. Third one. You know what I mean? So, okay. Because we're not going to go into that another interview, but I want to take this all up to the point. We'll do a hard stop on Andre, our son, because our second child. But let's just talk about the pregnancy test with Elena, you finding out, and then presenting to me and where I was in that moment. We had a 1-bedroom apartment. You and I were living in Tustin.
Yeah.
And box house is what? 4 months old? 3 months?
I don't know. I don't remember.
2018 when you got pregnant, because we had her and we opened up in 18. But I just remember we had opened up box house.
It was April. You guys opened up February.
I've been open a couple months.
So 2 months.
2 months we've been open.
Yeah.
I don't got anything on my plate. No big deal. Just fucking no big deal. Just nothing. I wasn't in the ER for exhaustion. Well, then we find out this. But tell the viewers how you found out in the bathroom, right? And then how you. What'd you say? What'd you tell me?
Well, you were high as balls, so that was. Can I say that?
Yeah. So I was high.
We smoke like marijuana. Okay, that was the extent of it.
We don't do crack anymore.
Yeah.
We just smoke weed.
We have kids now. We can't.
Yeah, we smoke weed. Now I get it. Now I know when my parents would sneak away and like get high. Like, well, not my parents, but people's parents.
Yeah.
My
So
parents
Andre,
but yeah.
he just got into the bed for the night. He smoked a little bit. He was doing his thing. I called him in and he's like, what? And I was like, come here, come to the bathroom. He's like, I'm in bed. I'm like, get over here. So he comes over just
I like to just chill when I get high, and I want to enjoy my high. And I don't do anything crazy. I just get in bed and I just enjoy what's on TV. And I'm in the moment, which is a thing that I never do.
Yeah, no, it's really hard.
I'm not an in the moment type of person. So anyways, I say all that because I'm in the zone and I hear this, babe. Why do I say you sound different to me? It's like, babe. I'm like, what? Get over here. What? Get over here. I'm like, what? And then what happened?
You walk in the bathroom and I say, look. And I contemplated recording it, but then I thought, no, I want this for myself. He comes in and he looks and he goes, what am I looking at?
I did say that.
What the fuck? It's a pregnancy. I'm like, look again, Andre, open your eyes. And he's like, well, what is it? I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna fucking kill her right now. I was like, look again. I need you to just concentrate. Look again. And then you did, and then you're like.
I thought it was the thing you put underneath your tongue to check your temperature.
Yeah.
The initial. That's what I thought it was. I almost grabbed it and put it in my mouth. I'm not sick, but I'll do it. You know what I'm saying?
Like I married him. This is what I'm working with. Yeah.
So I didn't put it in my mouth, thank goodness.
No. And then I finally said, I just need you to look. And he looks down, and then it like hit him.
Yeah,
he goes,
hit me.
we're having a baby? And I said, yeah. And he takes one giant step back. So for whatever reason, he grabs his shirt and throws it over his nose, like his face, where like up to here. And then your eyes got red.
I did this. I was like.
Yeah. Your eyes got red.
And then my eyes filled up with
water, or tears.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
And then he was in just disbelief, and we didn't like even immediately hug. Like we just stood there,
I was like, this is it.
shock.
Like, it's like, fuck, we're doing this, huh?
Yeah.
No backing down, huh?
And I still hadn't fully accepted that I wanted a baby yet. So that was really difficult because I wanted to be happy because my body did it, but I wasn't in the mode of I want to be a mom. It was more like I had a task that I was trying to get to because that's what I knew. I'm task oriented. You do it, you get it done, you move on, and I get a check, and like I reward myself.
Very task oriented. She likes structure.
I thrive on structure.
1 through 10. A through D, whatever it is, she wants that. So
Yeah.
you're sort of treating this
Oh yeah.
like, all right, I checked it off the box. And
But then what do I do now? Like,
no, because there are books out there, but as you know, as I'm moving through these interviews, it's like every situation is different. Every outcome is different.
And then after that, all you could talk about is the R8 that you wanted.
Yes.
And that you couldn't get it anymore. And I was like,
Yes.
oh, so we did a little recording. I recorded each other
I
in the
wanted
moment.
an Audi R8, but now that I had a kid on the way, that's fucking...
That's the first thing he said was, oh, I'm not going to be able to get my R8. And I thought, holy shit, I'm having a baby with a guy who's thinking about an R8 right now.
Baby
what
having a baby.
the fuck? What did I just do?
But I shifted, I changed. I didn't get it, whatever. Okay, so that's that. We were both excited. We were emotional about that. It was incredible.
I think you were excited. I still felt indifferent.
Oh, yeah.
And I then kept it to myself.
And that's natural, right? To
I
feel
think
indifferent.
yeah,
And that's why I said in the
everyone's
beginning of this thing, it's like, some women are really pumped. Some people are like, didn't even want to have a kid. Some people are indifferent. There's somewhere in the middle, like, yes, but no, wasn't ready, kind of ready, but not really. And that's, I think, where you're at, somewhere in the middle.
No, I think I was more far...
Right middle, right center?
I think when I was 7 months pregnant and I didn't feel her move all day and I got scared for the first time, he started yelling at my belly, started shaking it.
Yeah,
I was about to like get some juice to fill her, and then I felt a little, in my head I pictured her like, hey mom, like I'm here.
Yeah.
And then I felt comfort, and that's the first moment, and I said, oh my God, I do love her.
Yeah.
And then I felt like I was more in the middle. Of I do want this baby, but it took 7 months to get there. And so you could imagine all the emotions I felt leading up to my delivering her. It wasn't fun.
Okay. Okay, so now Andre, we have Elena, and then you do the pregnancy test.
We have our angel child.
And we'll talk about that later.
And then we have Bubs.
Okay, real quick, because I got about 10 more minutes, but let's talk about Andre. We
Yeah, that was different.
we did it again. It's not miraculous. It was, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
So we did it again.
We did it again, and I was truly convinced that if I could have Elena, who now looking back, you know, she was just so easy. She was so incredibly easy, and sleep trained herself, drank her milk, ate, played. Stayed in the same area, the same vicinity. I didn't have to
We didn't even have to put things in the outlets for her. She didn't open drawers.
We didn't have to baby-proof anything.
We didn't baby-proof.
No.
Yeah, she just didn't.
She was chill, and it's interesting because she was about 20, almost 2, so 20 months, and it was around your birthday. It was October.
Yep.
And I just remember saying to myself, I think I could do this again. I found out I'm fucking pregnant a week later.
Excited, you can tell. But okay, the pregnancy test, what happened? How'd you introduce that to me?
Okay, so I was late on my period.
We have a video of this, by the way.
Yeah, and I did record this, but I was excited. I was late, and I thought, oh my gosh, I could be pregnant, because I'm never off, I'm never late. And it was a more excited feeling, like, oh my gosh, could this really be happening?
Yeah.
So I record myself in the bathroom. I do it again by myself, because you were in the living room with Elena. And I look at it, and it's positive, and I was flooded with excitement. Like, I couldn't believe I'd be able to love another baby, that another child, everything that I have felt, which, by the way, I love being a mom. It's the only passionate thing, what I feel so passionate about.
Full circle here. Didn't even want to be a mom. Not even on her fucking, you know what I mean?
And that's how life is, right? The things you think you don't want.
And then all of a sudden she's like, all I want to be is a mom.
Well, not all,
I
but
know.
for the majority of it.
You're really good at it.
And I was stoked. So then I said, all right, let's go show Dad. And I walked to the living room where he and Elena were sitting. We just got back from a doctor's appointment for her. I recorded it. I sat down. I gave it to him, and
she gave me the thermometer again.
Yeah. And again, he had that look of like, what am I holding again?
Yeah.
And then it hit him, and he was like, no.
I was like, no. No, come on. Right now? That's what I was thinking.
Like, your baby's coming right now?
Is this mine?
Yeah.
Where's yours? It's ours.
Well, they're both mine.
It's ours. Okay, great. Awesome. Yeah, I remember that feeling. It was just it's a different emotion.
Yeah.
It was an emotion for me that was like, I got filled up. I got some tears in my eyes. Not as much as Elena in the first time. I think because everything leading up to that was different, and our hearts were filled with Elena, obviously, and so we were coming from a different place emotionally. So it makes sense that I didn't act the same.
Yeah.
Didn't feel the same.
It wasn't such a shock, but
Correct.
I think for me,
It's like, all right, I've been here before.
Yeah.
This is very familiar to me. But equally, it's like, fuck, man.
well, I felt a bit suspicious, and I don't know if you felt this way, but in myself, I thought, how could I ever love another human being the way I love Elena? Like, my heart is, everything is given to her. How could I possibly pull from the love I'm going to give her and give it to another child? So, though I was happy and more excited, then I was skeptical, like, are we really going to do this? Am I going to take love from my baby? Because I immediately thought of her. Like, is she going to suffer? Is she going to feel my love being divided? All the things you wonder about, because we've never done it. We didn't have 2 children.
Yeah.
So it was more of, I had some fears, but they didn't overwhelm me like when I was pregnant with Elena. And the pregnancy started out better. Still off, I had the most awful symptoms, to the point where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, tap out. And then that's when you bought me a purse. And then it felt better. Like, it was.
That always feels better.
He came home with a
And on that note, we have to close this segment. No, but seriously, we do. We'll save this for another time. But I wanted to get your perspective, right? What it sort of, how we sort of got there with both kids, and what it feels like, the news. And so for any of the new parents out there, you're sort of wondering, what does it feel like when you find out? It's crazy, man. It's like good emotions. Again, you can feel indifferent, but if I'm talking about good feelings, there's a overwhelming feeling of love, emotion, overstimulation when you find out that you're pregnant. And anyone who's ever gone through that knows the feeling, especially when you're wanting those types of things. When you want a family, when you want a daughter, a son, or both, or whatnot. And then when you get that at least that first sign of like, all right, you're pregnant. It's like, holy shit. I just remember the first time when it was like, okay, we're doing this. It's happening. This is it. And then, we'll get into this later too. But when Elena was born, I was like, holy shit. They're gonna send her home with us.
No, I mean, I didn't.
No handbook. Nobody fucking. I don't even think the lady made sure she was in her car seat, man. I didn't even know how to put in the car seat. I had nothing fucking ready. Like nothing. Nothing ready.
We didn't
car
have
seat
a
still in the
crib
fucking box. Where we lived at this apartment complex, the 1-bedroom apartment. I'll say this last thing, quick story. The maintenance guy, I had like friends with everybody. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's like my fucking thing. So maintenance guy's like, hey, what's up, Andre? What's up? So I leave the hospital to go get the car and load it up to come back and go get Elena. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, right? Open up this car seat, got it going. I go downstairs. We had the Audi SUV or crossover. And I'm there, and here comes a guy in his golf cart, right? Like, maintenance guy. Andre, how you doing? He's got 2 kids.
Oh, okay.
Hey, man, I'm good, man. It's all good. He got a second? He's like, yeah. Hey, man,
I have a baby.
I got a baby I got to pick up. And I don't know how to put this thing in. He like looked at me. I'm like, you're mechanically inclined, man. Can you help me out? And he's like, dude, I got you, bro. He's like, here's what you need to do. And like, guy fucking did it in 5 minutes.
This.
You didn't know this?
No. I know you asked one of my brothers, Michael.
Yeah, and Michael too. Yeah.
When he was at the hospital, he's like, did I do this right? I knew that. But I didn't even know how to do it. I didn't put a.
He helped me out, man. I'll never forget that maintenance guy. Helped me out. Irvine Company, shout out. You guys charged me too much for rent, but now I see where it went. Maintenance all the way. Anyways, helped me get in them.
Yeah.
She's all right. She's been all right ever since.
She has.
Well, I want to thank you for being on my show. I appreciate you coming on. It means a lot to me, and obviously probably a lot to the viewers. But as always, I'm doing this podcast for a lot of different reasons. But more than anything, I want to get perspective on new mothers, current mothers that are excited, mothers that are indifferent, mothers that are looking to be incredible moms, and what to expect, and share their story, right? So I want to get all those emotions, all those feelings, all those conversations on the table, all to say that, at the end of the day, nobody fucking cares. You know what I mean? So we're here to share these stories. So I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks, babe. All right. That's it. I'm doing this podcast for a lot of different reasons, but more than anything, I want to get perspective on new mothers, current mothers, mothers that are excited, mothers that are indifferent, mothers that are looking to be incredible moms. I want to get all those emotions, all those feelings, all those conversations on the table, all to say that at the end of the day, nobody fucking cares.